Started in 1985. We started with 9 stables, but we only had the 6 horses. Our first 8 runners, we had 5 winners. And by the end of the first season, we had some 25 boxes. We now have 110 boxes. I suppose it's been a thing that we've always sort of said what we'd be aiming at is £1 million prize money and 100 winners. So, you know, and if you can achieve that, I think you're doing all right. Although it's when you have a Defi de Sceaux and Tyne Hill Grade 1 winners, it's the icing on the cake then, you know. Defi de Sceaux has been fantastic for the last 3 years now. He's done us proud with six Grade 1s.
Yeah. We've seen Defi de Sceaux's journey when he was a juvenile hurdler. And did he run 7 times that season as a juvenile and won every single race?
Yeah, he ran plenty all through until the spring. Actually, I wanted to take him after he won at Aintree. I wanted to take him to Auteuil as well for the 4-year-old hurdle over there, but JP said no, but that's fine. Quite understand.
What an amazing journey almost, because so good in his juvenile year, and then the next year he was a little bit lost.
Yes, completely.
And you know, for you guys, how tough was that? Because do you think then at that stage, oh well, maybe he was just a good juvenile?
There were an awful lot of people that you know, at the end of his juvenile career, Defi de Sceaux, you know, the next coming, after 2 runs the following season, he's gone. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of juveniles have a tough season and you never see them again. We certainly never gave up hope, but obviously it was very disappointing.
Yeah.
You know, the way he ran at Ascot and then Leopardstown. We found a reason that he was disappointed in Leopardstown. A lot of our horses were under a bit of a cloud that season.
Yeah.
And it's just fantastic for everyone in the yard, you know, that he's come back and proved the doubters wrong.
Yeah. And now I spoke to you after he won at Cheltenham over 2 miles, and without hesitation you said Tingle Creek. Why?
Mainly because I think Sandown's stiffer than Cheltenham, and over 2 miles he needs a real test of stamina. So if he could do that at Cheltenham, his first run back this autumn, then Tingle Creek looked the obvious race, particularly bearing in mind that it looks to be at the moment the weaker division. And look, we all know he stays 2.5. There's no problem with that at all. He won at Cheltenham Festival over 2.5, but he's got loads of pace and he's effective at 2.
It's what everyone in racing gets up in the morning for. Every morning, the first horse I see when I come into the yard is Defi, if he's cleared up his breakfast by the time I get into work. And you know, he's a superstar to have around, not just because of his ability, but he's one of the few horses that will pull out every morning. He'll kick and squeal and buck around the yard. He enjoys life, and he enjoys his work, and he's a pleasure to have around. And the fact that he's, you know, a top class horse is a very nice added bonus.
You won the champion chase with Flagship Uber Rallies.
Yeah.
How does this fella match up with him?
Totally the opposite. Flagship Uber Rallies was a big horse who was very fragile physically, shoulders and issues, and mentally, because he only did it when he wanted to.
Yeah.
Whereas Defi's completely the opposite. I mean, touch wood, very sound, touch wood, very genuine, and no, he's a different cup of tea altogether.
And what about the Clarence House at Ascot? Do you think the track will suit?
Don't see why not. You know, I'm sure he'd cope round there fine. It'll, from Swindley Bottom, is a fair old climb to the post, so that'll help him. So yeah, should suit well.
And all systems go. We've seen him working this morning, and he certainly looked like he had plenty of spark about him.
Yeah, he's been really well actually, particularly well. He's been very fresh recently. He had a buck yesterday having a canter. Not very many of ours buck too much because they're too tired to do that. But he's fine, yeah.
But you know, he's just an amazing little horse. He kind of just gets on with it. He's not flashy. He doesn't stand out in the string, does he?
No. The one thing's different about him, every morning when he comes out, ears pricked, have a jog round the yard, not in a stupid way, not just wants to get on with things, you know. But he's a wonderful horse to have.
Everybody says that Cheltenham, a lot of people feel that it's the be all and end all. Where do you stand on that score?
Well, I suppose we're fortunate enough to have had, I think it's 18 Cheltenham winners or 19, I'm not quite sure, which is, you know, acceptable.
Yeah.
I don't think it is the be all and end all at all. You know, it's important to have Cheltenham winners, of course it is, but you know, there's plenty of other racing through the year and other important racing as well. And actually, sum it up, if you asked a lot of people that have been to Cheltenham what won certain races a month afterwards, I bet you a lot of them couldn't tell you, because by the time Cheltenham's over, you're moving on for next year, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I suppose, and as well, you've got Aintree and Punchestown
Yeah.
as well. But
Yeah.
for you, on a personal level, walking into that winner's enclosure, it means plenty, though.
Oh, of course it does. And actually, I know other trainers say it as well, but it really is to some extent a relief, particularly when you've got a favourite for one of the bigger races.
Yeah.
You know?
You're an integral part of the team here, aren't you? Because yourself and Philip seem to work hand in hand. You know, almost two sets of eyes are better than one. Almost.
Yeah, very much so. And I'm here on a daily basis. The governor is obviously here. He's very much full time and hands on, but equally he's got a lot of things to be getting on with, speaking to owners, entries, and everything else in the office. So I'm more out in the yard, overseeing things in the yard, you know, on a daily basis. The governor comes and watches as many horses as possible on the gallops, and I'm feeding that information back to him about what's going well, what's not. Between us, look, it's worked for 25 years, and hopefully that will continue.
Yeah, and quality-wise, Defi Desai has been the flag bearer. Time Hill now on the scene. How nice is that for you guys to have another star?
Oh, it's fantastic, man. I've been lucky enough to be here long enough to remember the Rooster Boosters and the flagship Uberalis and the top class horses. And we've been very spoilt along the way to have the Captain Chris's, Wishful Thinkings, Minoras. You know, the list is endless. But to get two real stars like Defi Desai and Time Hill is really, really exciting. And obviously Defi Desai has been there and done it to a certain extent, and Time Hill is the sort of new kid on the block and just plying his trade and learning his work. But it's hugely exciting.
Time Hill only a length behind. Ashiki appears to have cracked. Someday Soon has moved into third. Time Hill challenging Fiddler on the Roof as they went over the 10th and final flight. Fiddler on the Roof is about to be headed by Time Hill halfway up the run, and it's Time Hill under Richard Johnson who will go on to take the Persian War.
I thought it was quite strange of you to pitch him straight into that Persian War at Chepstow.
Do you know, it's often not the hottest race in the world. It's a bit early October. You know, some of those better horses aren't ready to go.
Yeah.
So we made an entry with an option somewhere else the following week, and when I saw the entries, I thought, oh, maybe he could win this, and it worked out. So it was good. He won't run again before Cheltenham because he's never been a horse that holds condition great, and we've got much more chance of getting there in good nick if we give him a couple of weeks easy now and then aim for Cheltenham.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether he'll run the Albert Bartlett or the 2 mile 5, but we'll worry about that near the time.
Yeah, because he shows he's not slow, is he?
No, he's not slow, no. But he definitely stays well. And I think long term, he'll definitely be running over 3 miles. In fact, already I sort of thought that Stayers hurdle next year would be the aim, I would have thought. But
now, what about your jockey, Richard Johnson? How many years has he been your number
well, do you know,
one?
somebody asked me that a couple of days ago, and I don't know.
I was trying to think back to when Richard Dunwoody retired.
Yeah. Do you know, I think it would be 23 years ago, and I might be a year or two out. Yeah.
But he's to deal with.
Well, you obviously knew him well when you were on it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a general, very good bloke all round, you know, and there's no side to him whatsoever. You know, we regularly maybe have a lad in the yard that's riding a winner. Even today at Taunton, Michael Nolan's riding the horse in the first that's favourite. But Richard would be the first that would want to give somebody else a chance. Totally understands that. Of course, he wants to ride plenty of winners, and he wants to be champion jockey again, so it's very important. But on the other hand, I need to back up some of our lads in the yard, you know.
Give them chances.
Exactly. So there's never any issue when somebody else rides the horse when he might feel he'd be missing a winner. So that's very straightforward. And he's the best ever with owners in the paddock beforehand, and more importantly afterwards. If horses run well, great, that's easy. But if horses run badly, the first thing a lot of jockeys want to do is run off to the weighing room and not face the owners. But actually he's the opposite. He'll spend much longer with the owner when the horses run badly.
And for you then, for him to have been champion you know, the last few years. It must make you very proud to be part of that as well.
Oh, of course, yeah, we're part of it. But, you know, you have to realise, though, that he's ridden over 100 winners this season, and I think it's just under 30 for us. So we're not going to make him champion jockey. I mean, hopefully we'll help,
Yeah.
but we're not going to make him champion jockey. And the fact that sometimes he rides ours when he might have ridden somebody else's that wins, you know, that's, you know, probably realistically, it doesn't even end up be that number of winners that we're providing, because he would have had other winners for other people.
Yeah.
So, you know, no, it's great that he's part of the setup. He's an enormous help.
And what about for you on a personal level? What's left for Philip Hobbs to achieve as a trainer?
I suppose it'd be great to win a Grand National. We've had
You've come close.
We've had 2 seconds out of third, but we haven't won it. So that would be really nice. Be good to win a Gold Cup. We've had a third and a fourth, but we haven't won the race, so that would be good. And I'd like to have a winner or toy. We've had places there and haven't had a winner there. That would be good.